There's no separation. The thought puts you wherever you are. So if you're in that blackness and you have the thought of going deeper, if you can tune into the energy of going deeper, then you're deeper because it's just the thought. Come on, are you with me? Yes. Some of you didn't get that. If you're in the realm of thought of all possibilities, are you with me? Yes. Now you got to get you're not your body at this point. You're just an awareness. Come on, we're not smoking anything. If you're in the realm of thought, every thought has a frequency, yes? Yes? Suffering thought, slow frequency, makes you feel more like matter. Angry thought, slower frequency, makes you feel more like matter. Love thought makes you feel more like energy. Gratitude makes you feel more like energy, yes or no? Yes. So if you're in the realm where you're separate from the material world, every thought has a frequency, yes or no? Yes. But if everything is connected in this realm, the thought of you going deeper into that place creates you going deeper if you can accept the energy or the frequency and surrender, become more of that frequency and less of you. Come on, I got you on that one. Yes or no? Yes. So now this is different rules now. So then there's nowhere for you to go because there's no space. If there's no space, then there's no time. Yes or no? Yes. So then the only thing I can do is change my vibration, change my frequency, change my energy by changing my thoughts. Yes or no? All right, so then you're going to move through time, but you don't go anywhere. You change your frequency, and when you do, you experience different dimensions. Are you with me still? So here I am sitting on my couch. I talk about this in one of my books, and I just wrote an article on the pineal gland, and I had studied all the neurohormones of it, and I wrote the article, and I was thinking about it all the time, and I was finding all this research, and I put my kids to bed, and I was just sitting on the couch, and there was a fire, and I was looking into the fire, and I was watching the light in the room, and I thought about all the things I had to do the next day, but I was relaxed. But I just kind of was gazing into the fire, and I was just kind of moving into a trance. I wasn't thinking or anything, and I just kind of stopped for a moment. I closed my eyes. I started thinking about the pineal gland, and I said, where are you anyway? Just had the thought, like, where are you? So I started searching around in my brain for it. And I kind of locked into where I thought it was. And in the next moment, like a screen opened up. And it was beautiful imagery. And I saw this big timepiece that had a glistening surface and all these Roman numerals. And I see it. And all of a sudden, I see, listen closely, I see the hands moving backwards in time. I'm moving through time. Are you with me? And all of a sudden, I appear in my bedroom when I'm like 10 years old, 9 years old. And when I was a kid, I loved fevers. Like, that was my thing. Because when I had fevers, I'd have all these mystical experiences, and I would just be like, my parents would say, take the aspirin. I'd be like, no way. There's no way I'm going to ruin this. And here I am as a 9-year-old kid laying on my back. I have the covers right up to my nose like this. And my Italian mother had just come off my forehead, The Italian moms don't use a thermometer, they use their lips. She put her lips on my forehead, and I was smoking hot. And she turned around, she walked out of the room, and she said to my father, he's burning up. And I was like, yes, close the door. So she had just left the room, and I was kind of lucid. You know how you have those fever dreams? I would have all these geometric patterns, and then I would just kind of slip through this door. And here I am standing. I moved through time, and I'm experiencing another dimension. And it's all happening when? Now. But I'm me looking at me because there's no separation. You with me? Yes. And I'm watching this 9-year-old kid looking at this 3-dimensional checkerboard. And he's understanding how time is intimately connected. And I'm watching his thoughts. And I'm seeing he's 9 years old and he's doing this. And I just fall in love with this little guy. And the moment I fall in love with him, I connect to him. And I realize that my future self in that moment that's connecting to a part of me in the past that's happening now is drawing me to me. I'm connecting to me. So I know now he's going to find me. Are you with me still? So then I have this moment and I feel this tremendous amount of love, and all of a sudden here comes the timepiece. And the timepiece starts moving fast. The hands start moving fast. And now I'm going what? I'm moving through time, and I'm moving forward in time, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm there. Time's moving. You got it? And all of a sudden now I'm in my backyard. And now I'm coming from the far pasture. And I'm in this long kind of thing, this cape thing. And I'm barefoot. And I'm the upgraded version of Joe Dispenza, like I am. I'm like empowered. And I'm walking out of the back pasture. And I'm walking past the gardens. There's glistening frost and ice. You know how when grass freezes and you see all those? And the moon is out. And I'm walking barefoot on this ice. And I am so conscious that the feeling of cold is bliss. I'm not separate from cold. I'm part of it. And I'm enjoying it. I love the cold. I love everything. Are you with me? I'm connected to everything. And I'm walking, and I come right up towards my home, and I just walk along these big basalt columns that I had built to create this beautiful fire pit. And the moment I stepped on the stones, I knew that they knew me, and I knew them, and they were noble, and I was connected to them, and I knew they were aware of me, and I was one with that. Are you with me still? And they were cold, but they felt amazing. And I walked past them, and there was a fountain that my brother and I had built, and I looked at the fountain, and I started laughing. Remembering that day we put this fountain together, it was beautiful. And all of a sudden, from behind this fountain appears this little tiny, tiny woman in all white. And she's glowing. And I look at her, and there's like a woman, like a protector, standing there with her, just kind of protecting her. And I kind of turn and look at her, and she takes a moment, and she looks right at me. And the moment she looks at me, now I'm feeling pretty exalted. I'm feeling pretty upgraded. And she looks at me, and all of a sudden, my heart blows open, and I feel this. She had given me this level of love that was even greater than the love I was feeling. And I thought, oh my God, there's even more love to feel. And it kind of woke me up. I kind of stopped, and I looked at her, and then she kind of moved back behind the fountain. And then I remembered why I was there. And I looked in the kitchen window right out there, and there I am, moments before I sat on the couch, I was washing dishes. My kids were in bed, they had just fallen asleep, and I was just washing the dishes, and I just kind of walked over, and I started looking at me. Like me, the upgraded version of me, looking at this guy. I'm just watching myself from a greater level of consciousness. And I just fall in love with this guy. I'm watching his thoughts, how he's always dovetailing ideas. He's always trying to build them, connect all the dots. I'm watching him while he's doing this, think of all these other things. I'm watching his strengths and looking at his weaknesses. I know him. I know who he is because I was him. You understand? And in a moment, I just fall in love with him. I just fall in love with that guy. And the moment I fall in love with that guy, I realize that I'm connecting as my future self to my present self. Are you with me still? And while I'm washing the dishes that day, that evening, all of a sudden I have this really bizarre feeling. I start feeling like this kind of love, and I just kind of stop, and then I think, is somebody looking at me? And so the light from the kitchen is behind me. And here's the black reflection, and I'm trying to look out to see, but all I'm seeing is my reflection. But I think, well, the dogs are out there. I'm on a ranch. The dogs would be going crazy if anybody was out there. I kind of look, and I just kind of go back to washing the dishes. And I felt myself connecting with myself. You understand? Yeah. Now listen, all I did was I moved through time. I time traveled by changing my frequency, and I experienced different dimensions.